Hello out there, all you wonderful people. This is Andre, the Game Idea Guy. Thank you once again for joining me for another Magic discussion. And this time I'm going to be talking about CrossWorlds RPG. And I know it kind of seems counterproductive to have an RPG based on a game that's kind of supposed to be an online MMORPG type of experience, even though it isn't actually one and it's just simulating that. But there's reason to why I'm saying this. CrossWorlds is actually a really fun action adventure type of game, and it has RPG elements within it. And you play as this character Lei, who doesn't remember her past. I'm not going to say much beyond that. There are some things that give you little hints here and there about who she is up until a certain point where you actually find out. But again, I'm not going to reveal much about that. What I'm actually interested in is the character Shizuka Sakai. I think that's how her name is pronounced. Where her story goes before CrossWorlds, which in the game CrossCode is the MMORPG that you're playing. What was like? I know it's kind of explained in the game, but like a full detailed story from Shizuka's perspective with the people that she was getting to know and people that she encountered, and how it affected her personally through her own eyes is what I'm kind of interested in. Because you kind of find out bits and pieces playing as Lei, and yeah, it's not. I wish I could say more, but I don't want to spoil the game for people who haven't played it, even though it's a few years old now. It's still a game that I know people are going to be playing, especially since it's going to be coming to the Switch soon. So that means it's going to have an increasing user base. But what I'm interested in is learning about what Shizuka how she was affected by everything, how it all went on around her. And I think an RPG format kind of would work if you did turn-based for like the actual combat, but like the overworld looked like CrossCode does. So that way you can encounter enemies and you can take them on, but like give it the kind of perspective, like sort of like games like Final Fantasy Mystic Quest, where you can see the enemies on the screen so you can choose to actively combat them or not. I mean, me personally, when I play RPGs, before when I was younger, I used to skip over enemies like that every now and again. Now I just kind of try to blaze through all of them, blitz them all. I mean, the more you take out, the stronger you'll be later on. So, but I would like to see her story played out, and it would be like a cool little thing to do. But like, it doesn't have to be a long, lengthy experience, and this does not have to be a free-to-play game. This could be put out on mobile for like $2 to $3, maybe $4, depending on how long it is. And I think a lot of people would actually appreciate it. Take a page from Square's book, but not the whole page. Like, release an RPG, but not like at $20 on mobile. I mean, it's like 15, but still not like $15 on mobile, especially when it's stuff that people have already played. Don't take that page. Take the page of doing the RPG, but not how much they're charging. Because you want the user base to kind of like, gravitate toward it. Plus, if there are enough people who like CrossCode, many people will be like, okay, well, this is a mobile RPG. I'll go ahead and pick it up. And they'll play it on their phones or whatever. And then, later on you could go ahead and do a console PC version of the same thing. Maybe add in some additional details or some extra content maybe down the line. But just getting the idea of putting this particular character's story onto the forefront, because her and her brother were heavily involved in the creation of CrossWorlds. So again, getting the story from her perspective and how she was dealing with it would be interesting. I mean, again, I'm not trying to reveal too much, but there's a deep connection between Lei and Shizuka. So that's all you need to know. Like, if you haven't played it yet. And if you have, then you probably already know what I'm talking about. But I'm going to end this here. It's just something I think is an interesting concept, and I think that before I forget the company's name, Radical Fish Games would actually do a really good job at creating something like that. Like, hey, they created CrossCode, so I mean, I could see them doing an RPG where it's graphically, the same, but it just has a different play style for combat. And this play style would better suit mobile than to try to do the action, because honestly, I'm sorry, some of the action gets so intense in this game where I've noticed myself when I'm hitting the buttons a little bit harder than I was expecting to, because sometimes frustration builds up, and I don't want to do that on a phone. Just break the screen. But that's it. Thank you guys very much for listening. Keep your eyes and ears out for more stuff from me, and until the next time, enjoy your games and peace out.